Welcome, everybody. Welcome to SkyTour LiveStream West. We are in the Western Observatory with our computer's connection and with our observatory control. And I want to say hello to everybody. Hiya, PG. Hi, Papa Tom. Greg O'Brien. How you doing? Dagger, what's up, man? Tara, what's going on? And, of course, we have Cypher 2. Cypher 2 and Dagger, you guys were the first ones here. I think that's really cool. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for coming out. And Keith from P&K, what's up, man? How you doing? And let's see. That's it for now. Jesse Peak, what's going on? And of course, as you can imagine, Daryl Mason is with me. Hey, Daryl, how are you?
Hello, Mark. I'm good. You? Hello, everybody.
Oh, doing fine. Okay, now, what you're looking at here on the screen is complete transparency. I'm showing you everything, how it all works. All right, so that is what I'm doing right now. So we're looking at the observatory over here. All right, you can see the telescope is here, obviously, and I also have the hand control here. And these are all the control programs we're going to run in a moment in order to get the telescope up and running. And the roof isn't even off. As you can see, the roof is still on over here. But we're going to take it off. I just have to do one last peek at the weather. Because that is an important aspect of it. You've got to always keep your weather in mind. So I'm going to head over and just check that out first. All right. Just one last peek. Before we open the dome, we always check out the weather. It looks like it's going to be beautiful out there. So I am really excited to show you guys some of what we've been up to. And Daryl, you have been with us. You've seen what's been going on. It's pretty amazing, isn't it, how this thing has been performing?
Oh yeah, it's been a few road bumps along the way, but it really got her going.
Yeah. Last night was probably the quintessential night of all nights because it was the first time it actually started all working perfectly. And we are very pleased. We went everywhere. I went all over the sky. Daryl gave up and had to go to bed. I continued until well toward 4 in the morning, almost 4.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I caught imagery of things that I've never seen in my life before. And out there, where the sky is so dark, and it's just beautiful tonight, I've confirmed that we've got a great night out there. Great night running. So we shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. It's probably still a little bit light out there. It's 8:45. We can start imaging some of the brighter objects, but we're going to do some calibrations to get everything ready to go. Hi, Cindy Murphy. And so what I'll do is I will do that. So first things first, I'm going to start up my control program. All right, and I use Arduinos for those who are familiar. I use Arduino systems. I wrote a control program for the observatory, and this is it. It's actually got a lot of different pieces, and it allows me to connect with different devices in the dome. I keep calling it a dome, in the building. But for me, it's just a very simple thing. Okay, I've set it up so that I just have to give it numerical commands. I don't have to type anything out. So I'm going to open the dome now, and you'll see that the telescope roof is going to slide off. There it goes. You can see it doing that right now. And it's opening up to the outside.
Open sesame.
Open sesame, yeah. Okay. Now the next thing I do is turn on power to the system. And we're 2,500 miles away. So I never get over how cool that is. And on the right over here, if you look on the right side, okay, this controller, you're going to see this controller actually light up as soon as I set this off. So here we go. Turn on power to the system. Now the telescope is coming to life, and it's going to bring us. Oh, that's cool. That's something I didn't know I could do. I just didn't realize I could actually pop that out as a separate thing. I'm learning about the app. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, and the telescope is now up and it is now ready. So we are in the position where we can now connect the telescope to the computer. So we're going to start up our control program that runs the telescope. All right, and I use something called astrophotography tool. It's really a very good tool. It does a great many things. And we're going to park this right over here for now. And we're going to go and connect to our telescope. And there's a little system that comes up. I get rid of a little nag screen, which I always get. And then I can...
Telescope connected.
There you go. And I don't know if you heard that, but it said telescope connected. Did you hear that, Daryl?
I can hardly hear you at all, Mark. Can you turn the music down a bit?
I guess I could.
It's stepping on you pretty bad.
Well, that's probably...
I hear you better now.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if all of you heard that say telescope connected, but it did. Hey, Bonnie. Anahata 77 is here. And Mike, how you doing, Mike? Mike C. Yeah. So I think that we are ready to get going. I'm going to point out a few things to you though, so you know where things stand and so you know how it works. But as I do that, and before I do that, I'm going to first connect all the rest of the pieces. I'm bringing up a Stellarium control program here that we're going to use. And this will allow us to use Stellarium to navigate in the sky. I had almost given up on this, thinking it wasn't going to work, but it actually has turned out to work quite well. Better than I thought. And Daryl and I were, I think Daryl as well as me was surprised by how well it works. You know, and the telescope just crossed the meridian. I don't know if you heard that message, Daryl.
I did.
Okay, so
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
That's right. I've got APT giving us a voice information. So what happens is the telescope has just crossed the southern meridian, which if you look here on our planetarium, that's right where the S is. That's south. And if we look at our lines here of just azimuth, if we just look at the azimuth lines here, okay, you can see them right here. They appear, and the telescope has just gone past those. And this is the scope indicator. It's actually in agreement with where we are. I'd like to try. Let's try just going up to Antares for the first shot. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay. And you watch down here, you'll see the scope move, and it does a two-pronged approach. But when it goes to a bright star, it might just go right to that star. But let's give it a shot. Here we go. Let's make sure it works. There it goes. All right. So the telescope will start moving here in a sec. There we go. And you'll say, well, how are we going to see what the telescope sees? Well, to do that, we open up another program that we have. One it's actually called Sharpcap. And I use Sharpcap to see what the telescope sees. So we have Sharpcap up. And I will now connect the camera, which is this guy right here. All right. And when it comes in, right, we should see Antares. And this is a 50 millisecond shot. So Antares doesn't look very bright, but it's the bright red one that's in that constellation of Scorpius. All right. Incidentally, Daryl, if you look down here, you see where it says flip? Horizontal?
Yes.
We're correct now.
Cool.
Yeah, so the telescope had reversed images. Deep sky clock event closing. Okay, well, here we go. So I'm going to just maximize this so you can see more of what's going on. These are all the camera controls, just like the other program, but far more elaborate, far better. We have a lot of things we can do. We're going to do a number of them. and I'm just converting to raw 16, which means we're going to get 16-bit depth for those of you that are computer minded out there. Hi Marianne, Rob, what's going on? And that'll give us better quality. So now I'm going to change this time here. There's a 1 second delay or so on everything I do, so it's really annoying. But the reason is because of the fact that we don't have the Starlink satellite up yet. We have it ordered, we have it on deposit, so we will have it. Okay. I'm gonna also, this camera that we have on there is a dedicated camera, and it has its own cooling system on board. And so I'm turning that cooler on, and I have a target temperature of -10 Celsius. So it's gonna be 10 degrees below 0 Celsius. And that's Antares, dead center. Gosh, this is so promising. And it should be, if I move it over, Daryl, I think we should see Mesher 4 to the right side now.
Uh-huh.
If we have it right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change our... let me just make sure I got my... Bring up the telescope handset for a moment. Okay, you can see I'm setting the slew speed now. You can watch the numbers change over here on the right side here. And I'm going to change it to not max, but I'm going to make it just what was it, 1.5 degrees per second. So it just gives me a little better option here. Now you're seeing this halo around Antares. That's because it's so very bright. I am working on a way to programmatically, that is by computer programming, remove the halos from the stars, and there is a system to do that out there, and I may be borrowing some of that technology to do it, but I want to be able to get rid of the halos. But halos are all throughout astronomy. You see them in a lot of things. But now that we're the right way, I should be able to say go west, and the telescope should move in a direction to bring Antares to the left, I would think.
I would hope.
Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
And what we're going to do is just frame this shot, and it's a 12-second shot, guys, so that's why it's taking so long. I'm going to change that, though, right now. Yeah, see, I'm going to make it a 1 second shot. Alright, and right now I have to just do it manually, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. It'll be dimmer, but it'll be update really fast. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm going to bring it back toward the east a little bit. Alright, and you'll see it move over a little. Yeah, not a whole lot, but it did. And it's going to be, it'll bounce over a little bit. Okay, and now Antares should be more on the screen a little bit. And what I'll do now is we have our guide system, which is doing a wonderful job. What I'm going to do now is I'll do a just a 15-second shot of this area. All right, and let's see what we've got waiting for us here. Now that the camera has not cooled down to temperature yet, it's actually it's at -1.2 Celsius right now. This little indicator here's the temperature sections on the thermal cooler for the camera. Why do we cool the camera? We cool the camera, and I know no one asked that, I just said it. We cool the camera because we want to prevent noise from occurring. What's noise? Well, when you look at a zoomed up shot, I showed you this when we had the other system. All right, if we were to zoom in really heavily on the system, wouldn't you figure you don't see noise because the camera's so darn good? Okay, focus is pretty good too, actually. But I have some fixes to do. You notice how the stars have that weird shape near the edges? That's what's called a collimation error, and the system has this additional large lens system on it that makes it so that the telescope can run at a focal ratio of f2, which is a very fast ratio. You know, your eyes are like f1, right? So this is f2, so not far behind in terms of the ability to capture light. Well, this is Messier 4. It's a globular cluster that sits right next to the eye of the scorpion in Scorpius. And yeah, what'd you say?
Heart of the scorpion.
Heart. I'm sorry. Yeah, see, that's why Daryl's here. Oh yeah.
You'll miss me when I'm gone.
Don't push me. I might have to test that. No, I won't.
Yeah.
I would never do that. So, we're looking at the area between Antares and Messier 4, and when we come in with our telescope system here, you look at the sky. We got a lot to see tonight. I'd like to image the Cat's Paw Nebula too, by the way. That's another one I want to do, and that's a really pretty nebula. Okay, so here you can see and again, the slowness is going to go away as soon as Starlink's activated. It'll be instantaneous, and it'll be as fast as if I was using it on my machine. So there's Antares, and then to the right is Messier 4 here. All right, right there, and we're in between the two right there. All right, I'm going to get rid of the. We're at an elevation right here of. Let me just see. We're elevated above the horizon by 29 degrees right now. So we can look quite a bit lower than that and not have interference from the walls of the building. But this is cool. Now, what I'll do is I'll back out of here. And what I want to do now is to show you something really cool. And the way we're going to do that is this. We're going to come back and the other thing I have to tell you is the field of view here. It's over 2 degrees across and 1.5 degrees tall. So that's quite a lot of sky that we're looking at right now, and that's a consequence of running it at f2. Oh yeah. Oh, cold water. There's no substitute. Down here in the bunker, you need that. Okay, and let's do this. Let's head a little bit more toward the east, and let's tone down this guy. Let's go to, say, a 2-second exposure, and now we will go. And if you notice, it said 2,000, but it's in milliseconds. There's 1,000 milliseconds per second. Milli means thousand. Okay, so 1 millisecond is 1,000th of a second. So 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. So that's what we're doing here, and this will alternately show seconds and milliseconds. So you just need to get used to that, I guess. And so let's go a little bit more toward the east. All right, and we're gonna go to the east, and now we're gonna go north a little bit. Daryl, do you know what I'm gonna do? Can you sense what I'm gonna do?
Robo Fuchsia?
No. I wanna try and see if I can stack in some of the beautiful Antares dust clouds that are here.
Oh.
That's all right. I haven't done it since the very first test. And so we're going to do 25 seconds here. All right. And I'm going to do something called Livestack. Now, you'll see something pop up. And this is the Livestack screen. And what's going to happen is that I'm going to have to move out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to come over here and move myself over here. Hi. Yeah. And all the action is going to happen in this area here. This is the screen now. It's a little bit smaller, but what's happening is we are stacking images. And as you can see, this is the first image that's come in. Look at the difference now. M4 over here. M4 looks just brilliant right now. Antares, of course, is blowing out. But look, there's another globular cluster we didn't see before. It's here. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. And you notice this orangey up here? You might think that looks like it might be a glare from the star. It's not. It's actually light from the star reflecting off dust clouds that are in the region of Antares. Light years away from Antares, but still capturing the light of Antares. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few little things. I'm going to try and do some processing here to try and bring out some more details to kind of show you dynamically what's going on here. And there you go. This is a dynamic view showing you exactly what the dust clouds look like. You can see dark lanes here. Now isn't this like so cool and so much more than what we've been doing and have been doing? Oh yeah. This is just hands down a far better way to show the universe to everybody. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. This is sort of like the summer equivalent to looking at Betelgeuse in the winter.
Right. Very good.
Yeah, the stars are very similar.
Yep.
They're both red supergiants. They're both supernova candidates.
There they are.
And they're both putting out tons of dust.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. I'm doing these dynamic movements of the curves down here just to kind of help show this a little better. There you go. Look at that. So you're actually seeing now, and no, this is not a lens flare from the star, okay? You're actually seeing dust clouds that are illuminated. Dust clouds that are actual dust. Now the dust could be, some of it could be from Antares, near Antares, but it would be well within the glare of Antares. It wouldn't be way out here. This is other dust in the universe. There's quite a lot in this location, trust me. Okay, so looking at Antares and looking at Measure 4 and this other globular cluster, we're looking sort of in the rough direction of the center of the galaxy, which is more that way, okay, right now. It's more to the left here. But if you think about it, these objects here, these globular clusters are approximately roughly the same size. Okay, they may have more stars than one or the other, but they're roughly the same size. This one is further away than this one. And so when we look at these are halo objects. These actually orbit the galaxy. They come through the galactic disk and then they orbit around and go back up. They orbit outside the normal confines of the galaxy and are subject to their own laws. They're in circular orbits around the galaxy, circular or elliptical, slightly elliptical, and they actually will orbit the galaxy in the same way that stars orbit the galaxy on the plane. But they have this other orbital dynamic where they actually are in a halo around the galaxy, and there's really no serious order to them. They just kind of go any way they want. That's how they evolved, and they are made of the oldest stars in the universe, that we think. And among them, okay, the stars in here, people say, well, those gotta have lots of planets around them, right? Now the answer is probably not, actually, because these stars are very pristine. They have only the elements that the original universe had, which is hydrogen and helium, and maybe a little beryllium or tiny bits of lithium. So they actually have a fairly pristine chemical structure and spectrum. So that doesn't leave a lot of room for dust and stuff to gather in there to create planets, because that never really happened here and probably didn't happen here. Incidentally, we've stacked 11 frames, by the way, over here. You notice this little thing here? This is a dynamic process, so you may not notice it, but it's getting clearer and clearer and clearer and more detailed as it's going on. But you're probably looking at this thinking, wow, it looks so good so far. This is kind of cool. And it does look cool. And I'm really impressed with this, This down here, this is called a histogram. This is the data that's coming in from the camera. This is the data, the image data, and these are this yellow curve represents what we're seeing. So if I were to move this the center of this curve, if I were to move this over a little more, then the screen's going to get brighter because I'm capturing more of the data above than the curve here. And if I move it to the right, of course, it gets dimmer. That's effectively the essentials of image processing. You actually do that when you're processing images to move the curves around to modify your data. See? Now here at East, we take pictures and they look like this of Antares. But out there, we take pictures and they actually show like this, where you actually see everywhere you see the orange in this view is all dust clouds. It's not the glow of Antares. I promise. So that's pretty cool. So that said, what I'll do is there's two particular saves that I do here. I save the image as it's seen, and you'll see a message right there that shows you where it went, that it went to a certain place. And then I actually save the 16-bit stack, which is basically the stack of current now 15 images that we're looking at. So I save that, okay, and now that's saved. And then I can pause this stack, all right, and I'm going to clear it, all right. And so it's going to.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Last night you were saving 32-bit. Tonight 16-bit.
Yeah.
Are you saving file size or what?
No, I'll explain the difference. That's a very good point. You guys know there's different kinds of image formats out there. What we're doing generally is we want to have the best data we can have, right? We want the best data we can get. So to get the best data we can get, we typically will try and get the highest resolution possible and the highest level, what's called bit depth. The more bits you have, the more details you can capture, basically. And so, with a higher bit depth, like 32-bit, you should be able to get more. And 16-bit and 32-bit, the difference is actually somewhat negligible for the stuff we're doing. So I was doing 32-bit, and then every time I brought it in for final processing, I'd have to convert it to 16-bit anyway to do some of the things that I need to do. Because I wrote, yeah, that's how I did it. So I wrote a bunch of little programs within Photoshop to actually do a lot of processes, but they depend on 16-bit data. So I'm just going to 16-bit. I've also written up a document that's a observatory startup and observatory shutdown procedures, so that in the event that somebody else wants to try their hand at the observatory, I can let them do it too. And we're thinking about doing that maybe by subscription. If somebody wants to use the observatory, they can do it. And again, it would be by subscription. They would have to pay for it. I believe me, if you knew how much this cost. But I'm very happy to do this all for free here anyway, guys, and you know that. All right, so this is our 1,000 millisecond or 1 second exposure of Antares. And what I'm going to do now is get rid of the stack because we're done with that, and it'll go back to being full screen. And I'll bring myself back down here in the corner where I belong. I always have to go stand in the corner. And now what I'll do is take us to a different object. And we're going to bring up our planetarium system to do that. And I'm thinking... I know people want to see some of these other things, and I'm thinking about it, but should we try it? Should we just do the Robo Fuchsia Nebula for now, just to show people that?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to go up north a little bit, guys, to the Robo Fuchsia Nebula. And you say, well, what's that? You'll see. And whenever this happens, I always watch what the telescope is doing. Okay? You'll notice that the telescope will be moving. It's going to move to a bright star in the region of Robo Fuchsia, and then it's going to move to Robo Fuchsia. Okay? So, what's the bright star it's using? It's using Alniat, around which there is a huge nebula that we've captured before. Okay? And then it may go back over to Antares and then run up to Robo Fuchsia. like it did last night. So we'll see. Let's just let it do its thing. Okay. We also, there it goes. So now, if I come back over here, we should see that we have some stars in here. The Robo Fuchsia stars, I think. Last I checked. And let's increase this exposure to say 5 seconds. Oh, it didn't do it. I must have had another S in there. Okay. Down at the bottom here, there's a progress bar which shows you the progress of the exposure before you see it. Okay, so now it's doing that. Let's go see where we are in this view. Uh-oh, look at that, Daryl. It did the same thing as before. Isn't that odd? Last time when we went to Robo Fuchsia, last night, it was all aligned, and it still went here. Remember that?
Yeah, I was wondering last night. I mean, we saw like a bright trio of stars close together.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to head to the west until we get that bright trio.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's what we wound up doing last night. We wound up just slewing manually to...
Yeah, and what it means to me is that the coordinates are off. Not in the telescope, but in the planetarium program.
Yes.
So if we come up to here now, we should see, and we come back, we should see that those stars, and there they are.
Yep.
That's the Robo Fuchsia stars. That's the the stars that actually have this beautiful nebulous clouds around them. They're really stunning. So let's... Oops, I just went down. See, the delay is killing me because I don't have instantaneous response. But, in fact, this is going to be perfect.
Living in the 21st century.
Yeah. Well, look.
Controlling a telescope. Like it's Flintstones.
Controlling a telescope from 2,500 miles away is actually pretty exciting to me. Hey, Donald Kunzer, how are you? I'm glad you're here, too. Thanks for coming. Oh, Tara, thank you. You're so sweet. Now, this star here and this star here are surrounded by clouds of dust. Lots of black dust, and some other dust that's illuminated by nearby stars. How do you know? Because I'm going to show you. We're going to do a 25-second exposure here. All right, and we're going to make it actually a live stack. So let's do this as a live stack. And I'm going to clear this. This is the Antares, the last thing that Antares had. It stores the last one. All right, and now we're going to, we've cleared it. It's undergoing the exposure. So we'll get a partial here, and then we're going to see the real one, the next exposure. Okay, so look at that. Wow.
That is so cool.
Isn't that cool? And
got a satellite too.
Yeah, we got a satellite over there. Look at that. Obviously that's right here. Look at the satellite right here. Hello, little guy. The next exposure, it'll either be up here or it won't be here at all because it'll have left the field. I really need to be over here. But that's it. That's Robo Fuchsia, and we're stacking this. So you see how noisy this looks over here. See how this is like noisy over here. It's kind of like model-y and all that. That's gonna change because we've stacked 2 images now. We stack more and more and more, and this is gonna go away, and it's gonna look a lot smoother. That's the nature of stacking. But look right down here. Look at this linear streak of black down here. Isn't this incredible? It looks like the satellite's actually going across very slowly. And it's going to cross right in front of Robo Fuchsia itself. Look at that. Hey, guess how you doing? Oh, look at that. And now it's fading. See, it's fading as it goes. From wherever it is, it's going behind the Earth. And it's fading out of view. So what do you think of this? This is Robo Fuchsia. This is called the Robo Fuchsia Complex. Let me see if we can do any kind of... We have a stack of 4. That's a little different. Maybe this guy. Yeah, this... Now, this sort of overdoes it, but look at this over here. You can see this like curtains. Like curtains of black here. Isn't that something? And you notice it's orange, it's blue. The blue is a reflection nebula. The orange is, diffuse clouds of ionized hydrogen gas.
Is the satellite tumbling?
No, I don't believe it is. I'm not sure why it looks like it's a little erratic, but...
It looked like it faded out and started coming back again.
I see that now. Yeah, that would indicate a tumbler. That's kind of cool. We caught that, and it's being saved. Look at this. I mean, the universe is filthy. Who's going to clean this mess up? Look at all that. Jeez. That's messy. I don't know,
Whitefield Astronomy opens up whole new vistas to you.
Does it not? Look at that. Wow. Actually, Daryl and I took an image of Robo Fuchsia last night in our test process, and we discovered that. Look at by the way, as the stack continues, look at what's happening. We're getting more and more of the blue region showing up more brightly now. Daryl and I discovered that it was amazing how many satellites actually appeared in the view. I think a few nights ago, when we were doing tests on the system, didn't we count like 16 to 20 in like a half hour?
Oh, there were tons of them.
Yeah.
I quit counting.
Yeah, so did I after a while. That's why I can't tell you exactly how many. But these dust clouds, these come from supernovae processes like red supergiants. They get big and bloated, and when they get big and bloated, they actually create these almost in the outer atmosphere. They actually can create carbon molecules, which is 2 carbons locked together, and that's effectively soot. Okay, and some other more complicated carbon-based compounds out in that outer atmosphere, because it's so far from the star that it's the distance that planets are from a star. For instance, if you put Betelgeuse where the sun is, it'd go out like to Jupiter, essentially. And the Antares, similarly, little variation in the distance. But in that outer atmosphere, that atmosphere is so tenuously held by the gravity of the star that sometimes the gravity of the star is not enough to hold it back. If there's like a little pulsation or a little solar flare, then that stuff can literally free itself from the star and float away from the star. That's why Betelgeuse, for instance, has all these shells around it. And it might be one of those shells of dust around it that caused the dimming a couple of years ago when we saw it. So it's quite an interesting concept, But this is, look at this. I'm stunned by this. You know what I'm going to do? This is 12 stack of 12. I'm going to save it like it's seen. All these will be made available to you, by the way, free. I'm also trying to set up a free public online OneDrive shared drive so that you can get up there and actually take all this stuff down and not have to ask for it, because it'll just be there all the time for you. So you just create a link in your browser, and I'm trying to set that up so it'll give you a read-only permission to actually get these from certain dock locations up on the OneDrive. And it's like OneDrive.com, something like that. Not quite, but you'll get there. I'll give you all the links. But I want you to be able to get all these. Okay, so now we'll save this as a 16-bit stack. This is 15 images stacked. I actually did this the other night, and this was not in there. I mean, it was, but it was just off camera. So now I got it in the camera, so that's pretty. And it's got this orange cloud. The Robo Fuchsia complex is known for its blues and its oranges. It's just probably one of the most fascinatingly beautiful locations in the universe. You know? So, but if you recall, the last time we did this, okay, with East and the camera system we were using before, you couldn't see this until I processed it. Remember that? Well, now it's just so different. Now we can actually, you know, see it live. You're seeing it live. This is a live image from the telescope. You know, which is why you saw the satellite traveling across. So this is just beautiful. And I'll do another save once we reach around 20. I'm gonna save it again, and then we'll move on. I just think it's beautiful. I love the colors. This complex has always been so colorful. I know you loved it too, Daryl.
Oh yeah. Oh, back in the days of film, I like taking piggyback photos. Camera was actually riding on top of the telescope.
Yeah.
35 millimeter film, working oftentimes with a 50 millimeter normal lens, so you know I could capture a whole constellation at a time. And Robo Fuchsia came up really bright and colorful, just north of Antares.
Yeah, that's right, just north of the heart of the Scorpion, which I called the eye of the Scorpion incorrectly earlier. Sorry. Oh yeah, just beautiful. We'll probably be up to 21 shots before I'm done here. I just want to do one other thing. I'm going to start our all sky cam, and that's gonna allow us to just get a glimpse of what's going on in the night sky around us. Really, I use it just as a cloud monitor. So I'm going to do one acquisition, and that'll be a 10-second shot, so we'll just maximize it for that period of time, and you'll see the image show up here in just a second. Okay, there we go. So this right here, this is the Milky Way, and it's only a 10-second shot. You know, and over here, these are the lights of Phoenix, far, far, far away. It's 65, almost 70 miles away. This is the southern Milky Way here. There's some light cirrus clouds down there that may be interfering, but they're gonna vanish. I've been checking those on windy.com. Okay, and we're gonna actually image the Veil Nebula tonight too with this, and maybe even the Elephant's Trunk, which is really something that up in this part of the sky. Really pretty. I actually was heading to the Elephant's Trunk last night, actually early this morning around 3:30, 3:45, and it had totally clouded over because it's monsoon season out there. So,
Monsoon season came back here yesterday. I told you yesterday that it rained 3 inches here in about 30 or 40 minutes yesterday.
Wow.
That was just a gully washer of a rainstorm.
A gully whomper. Yes, a gully whomper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been having lots of rock slides and mudslides up in the high country too.
Wow.
Interstate 70 is closed up in Glenwood Canyon.
Oh wow. Now remember what I told you? Remember how mottled this looked before? Look at it. It's much smoother, isn't it? Okay. That's because we actually had, as I said, now we actually got it to the point where it's now worked that out. That data has been removed through the stack process. Okay, so I just saved it as you see it, and now I'm going to save the 16-bit stack so that I can actually process, and you too can process. The only problem is these stacks, okay, of all these stacked images on top of each other to help give you more details and data. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but in astronomy, we tend to use a file format called FITS, F-I-T-S. And that's what we're using tonight. We're using FITS for all the stacks. But the pictures as processed like this one, okay, these are PNG files, pings. So they'll be fine. You can just look at them if you want to. But this is something. So, all right, we pause this stack. All right, and we'll clear it. Say bye to this for now, and go back to a single second. A single second exposure. That's what it looks like for a single second, right? That's pretty cool. All right, and now let's go back to here. I mean, while we're in the area, I guess we should probably, grudgingly, I'm just kidding, go to our favorites down here, right? Actually, I told you what I wanted to do. I wanted to actually look.
Cat's paw?
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
Down by the tail, isn't it?
I probably should back out a little bit. It's down. Yeah, this is just by the tail, I think. Oh, I hate this slow motion thing. I cannot wait. Wait, is this right here? I think it's one of these two here. It's just not labeled. Yes, here it is. Okay. Okay, this is the cat's paw right here. All right, and we'll go to the star because we don't. I can't get it to just label the thing right. Okay, we're on our way. Getting our visual up now. And let's see, where is it going to do the high precision lineup? Okay, it's lining up on Lesath, which is the star here. It's going to center it up and then go off. And okay, what was that weird noise?
Looks like it went right to it.
No, that's actually a selection. I don't see where it went. Oh, telescope it's trying to hunt. It couldn't do the high precision. The building got in the way of it. So we have to just stop that. All right. Unfortunate. Okay. I tried to do the high precision pointing and it didn't allow me because the walls of the building got in the way. And probably, but I saw it the other day when we were just hunting for it, but it was caught. I was trying to find the star that was below the wall. And we're actually working on raising the telescope 6 inches. Because we lose the telescope wall at around 20 degrees or so, and it tried to get down lower to find the star, and it couldn't. So unfortunately, that's gonna leave us with just trying to unfortunately do what we have to do here. It just didn't work. I did see.
I wonder if it's coincidence that the Cat's Paw Nebula is close to the cat's eyes right there. Charlotte and Lesath are.
I wonder.
They're the stingers. They're the stinger of the scorpion, but they're called the cat's eyes.
Yeah.
I mentioned that before.
Okay, how come Why did the telescope not show up anywhere on here? Did it stop showing up, or did something happen? Let's find out. Oh, I think that's what that noise was.
Would you excuse me for a moment, please?
Yep.
Right back.
Okay. I disconnect and reconnect. Okay. Not sure what happened. Did that work? No. All right, just a minute. Huh. One second here. We might have had a glitch in the dome. I'm going to have to go to maximum warp here. Yeah, I think we had a glitch. Okay. Look up here, because the telescope actually ended up going to a place I didn't want it to go at all. Why it did that, I don't know. But we're gonna try to salvage this if we can. Uh-oh, it's working. It's gotta stop. Stop moving. Okay. It's out of control. Yeah, that's just great. Alright, well, there's only one thing I can do. I'm gonna have to actually shut it down, which I don't want to do, but I'm gonna have to.
Oh no!
It's out of control. So I'm gonna just shut it down. Not good. Okay. Alright. I shut it down. I thought we were golden.
You gonna bring her back up?
I shut it down without parking, so I had no choice, so we'd have to go through the entire synchronization process again. Yeah, so much for that. Alright. Not happy about this. It's going so good too, so I'm trying to think of what actually happened. You know, when you said you had to go, I was going up to I was telling it to go up to, I forget where, and when I did that, I came back and it was like in polar alignment position, pointing at like Polaris. What? You know, I couldn't understand why that happened. So it just freaked me out. I don't know why it did that. So that's just something to add to the books.
Maybe the observatory is built on an old Indian burial ground.
Oh, yeah, that would help me greatly. Not. Yeah, I know. All right, let me do this. First things first. I thought we were going to have a good night, too. Darn it all. I was looking so forward to this. Okay, well. So now I have to shut this guy down. Actually, I gotta shut this guy down first. Why did it do that? And then it actually started, like, wherever I told it to go, it kept going in that direction, and I couldn't stop it. So that was problematic. So I don't know why that happened.
Oh, you shut down completely?
I have to. I have no choice.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. I have some work to do, I guess. I mean, it was working great. I don't know what it was. It's like when it was trying to find that other star, and I lost the handset visual went away, and I couldn't get that back.
Oh.
So I'm going to try and do an alignment all over again tomorrow, remotely. And if I can, then we might risk bringing it back up. But boy, that just was no fun.
Bummer. Thought we
Yeah.
had the bugs out.
I thought we did too. I mean, it's only 2 weeks of work to get there. Right? So, well, I guess that's all there is to it. I hate to do this, but power's off in the observatory. Oh, that was a bug flying by. You see that? So I guess I just have to shut the lid. But first, I need to disconnect the scope.
Telescope disconnected.
Yeah, I know. Telescope wasn't doing what I wanted it to. I just can't believe it's sort of racing all around the sky. Well, that was kind of stupid. You know? You know what, though? Damn it, I'm not giving up. I can't stand giving up. So, let me try something. I'm not going to close. I'm going to start it up again. And I'm going to align it to the southern meridian. Which I can do, because I have, thanks to Tara, who was in here, she helped me by going out there a couple times. And of course, Marianne helped me as well.
Yay, Tara and Marianne.
Yeah. Alright, so now what I'll do is I can go down here and let me see if I can see my mark. See, now see it says, you know, you have to align. Well, I don't want to align. I want to try and get, well, maybe I have to. Okay, well, you're going to actually see some troubleshooting here, I guess.
Did you turn it back on, or did it turn itself on?
No, I turned it back on just now.
Okay.
So I'm going to...
Sorry, I'm on a different screen at the moment.
Sorry.
Okay.
So guys, you just hang out with us here while we try to figure this out. I'm going to... Actually, going to need this full screen here. Alright. I'm going to go here and connect the telescope. We're going to get a path hub. Oh, if it says there's an error, then I'm going to have to reboot the computer. If it connects, that'd be great.
Telescope disconnected.
Cannot connect to mount. Alright. I will, in order to do this, I have to reboot the computer out there, which I can do, but in order to do that, I probably should be very careful and just start from a position of just like a brand new setup. So I'm going to turn off pure power again. Okay, so there it goes, and then I'm going to close the roof. So here that goes now. That should be coming overhead in a moment.
You're seeing live astronomy, folks.
Yeah.
I wish I could share. I made a great batch of hummus. If you like hummus.
I do.
Good.
Oh boy. All right.
I used to buy hummus, and grocery got so expensive, I started buying the stuff and making my own.
Wow.
It's better than that store-bought stuff anyway.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm going to do, actually cancel this. I'm going to reboot the computer out there. And it's actually M.2 system, so, and with just solid state drives, so it's going to reboot very quickly. But it does mean that I will have to, yes, the restart anyway. Crap. Tara says, kick it again. Yeah, how about no? I can't believe that happened. It was so good, too. It was working just fine. Why did it do that to us? You know?
You were saying earlier, you think maybe it lost its marbles when it was trying to acquire high precision pointing?
That's what it seemed. And that's really bad if that's what happened. I'm going to have to figure this out. Martian, I'll be uploading the images that I took last night and the ones I've taken tonight so far. They will be uploaded in the next day or so. Okay, the observatory should be back online. And it is. Okay. Yeah, go away. I don't want that. All right. And okay, here's the process, guys. What we have to do is we have to find something in the sky that we know, and then we can synchronize the telescope on it. And that's what we have to do. And so in order to do that, we're going to need to go away. Okay, we're going to need to find an object that we know, and to do that I have marks on the telescope visible from the cameras that allow me to align it to the southern horizon. And then from there, if we can find something we know, we can then set the coordinates based on the something we know by centering the something we know in the screen. All right. So first things first, let's bring back the observatory stuff, and let's get the IP cameras up. I just can't believe that happened. That's... I thought we had it. I don't know what it's doing. But that's not helpful. I really want to show you some of these things. I really do. Alright, so building's coming open now. And power's going on. And I gotta zoom into one level here. I know it looks hard to read. It is. Maybe. Yeah, see.
Sorry, I muted myself. Mark, Ojo Aja asked, can the telescope live stream video shared through the internet so the image processing can be distributed? That's what you're doing, putting the files in the cloud, right?
Well, yes. I mean, if he's talking about, he or she's talking about dynamically doing processing at the same time as they're being imaged, then that would need a bunch of concurrent connections. But these files go up to the cloud as soon as they're taken. They leave the desert and go up to the server, so that if the machine in there blew up after the whole session was over, none of the files would be lost because they're always offloaded to a cloud. So yeah, I mean, distributed processing is kind of available that way, right? All right, when I start this again now, it'll be fine.
I'm sorry, don't let me distract you.
You're not. Now when I connect, I should just connect and not complain. Okay. This is the screen I was looking for. Now it's connecting the telescope again. And while it's connecting the telescope, let's actually bring up... Okay, telescope's connected. Oh. Let's bring this up and drop down a little bit. Okay. Now if I go east a little bit, telescope should be moving east a little bit. It is. Tara, if you're still in the chat here, I think your alignment lines may be off. Maybe mine are. Actually, maybe I'm going the wrong way. I mean, I'm not going the wrong way, but maybe I'm actually not seeing this properly.
Are you trying to make the scope parallel to that white line on the fork?
Yes, but there's a black line on the back wall here that's actually more accurate, in fact.
Oh.
So, if we say that's approximately south, in fact, that's not really necessary. But if I say mode now and get out of this, it's going to do the whole smart drive routine where it's going to move the scope, and because it lost its marbles basically before, so I'll have to do this again, which isn't a problem. Beady beady beady, howdy, Buck.
That had to be the second most annoying robot ever.
Tweaky from Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Yeah.
Yes.
The most annoying robot ever was the old 49er robot in the movie The Black Hole.
Oh gosh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, who the heck thought of that? You know, that was supposed to be Disney's answer to R2-D2. Hey, let's make our robot an old 49er robot.
Oh, how about it there, boys? Yeah. And have it shaking like a human when it's scared. Oh. Yeah. Soundtrack was interesting for the movie.
Yeah, John Barry wrote it, I think.
Yeah. Maximilian! Okay.
Maximilian Schell played the
That's the guy.
the bad guy, yeah. I often wondered watching that movie if he didn't see his career going down that black hole.
I know, right? Guys, thank you for sticking with us here. Now I'm going to... Yeah, Tara, I saw the black line. It's not quite there, but then again... Actually, Saturn is straight up in the middle, but I don't trust the coordinates. I don't trust the coordinates. Huh? What the hell is that? Wow. Okay. Yeah, everything is west of the meridian now. I don't... Well, let's see. Saturn's very, very close to the southern meridian here.
Oh, hey!
What?
Saturn is at opposition tonight.
Well, yeah. Ay. All right, let's just... How could this work so well and then just go haywire out of nowhere? I don't get it.
Loose cable, perhaps?
No, it's not a cable issue.
Indian graveyard, then.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, it could be. All right. 1 second exposure, and it's going to be looking at the wall right now, so you're just going to see like a blast.
Of course, that makes me think of the old 49er on that Star Trek Next Generation episode.
Oh, really? Which one?
The aliens and the guy, they found Data's head 500 feet underground underneath San Francisco.
Oh, that's right.
The aliens are going around stealing souls with the snake-headed cane thing, and
Oh, yeah.
the old 49er was out there begging for money, and they stole his soul. I felt sad for the guy.
Uh-huh. Well, that's nice. All right, here's what we're going to do. No, we're not. Not this, not quite. We're going to make this smaller and move it out of the way, because I want to grab this guy and bring it down to where I can use it. And I know that looks like we've got like blue sky or whatever, but that's because the monitor apparently never got turned off in the building, and so we're seeing a blue glow from the monitor. That's just a little thing. Not a big deal. Alright, so let's see now. We're going to go up Up and away in my beautiful telescope. And now we're up into the sky. Alright. Now, I'm trying to look at what it thinks it has for right ascension. And if we're lined up at this... See, the reason is because we can get close. If we're lined up in right ascension properly, that's the east-west motion. That's this number at the top, RA. We're looking at, right now, in right ascension, we're at 20 and 21 hours. You can see this is not right. So what I would do right off the bat to just get close is I would say 20 hours, 30 minutes. What I'm doing is I'm going to synchronize. And if it doesn't synchronize, then I will quit, reconnect, and it will work. I don't know why, but that's how it works. Or it doesn't work, as the case may be. And as far as the elevation, that elevation looks like maybe minus 20. Maybe that's about right. Maybe could be minus 20 or so. Maybe let me just say minus 25 just in case. All right. And when I click on sync, it's either going to say over here, telescope is synced to the coordinates, and it'll tell you that, or it's going to say it couldn't do it. If it says it can't do it, well, then I got to fix it, which I can do. Okay, exception. So what I got to do is I have to disconnect.
Homer.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Scope
It's just a
scope disconnected.
nitpicky thing. Yeah. Oh, okay. And I've actually got to disconnect the camera too, because I've got to allow... I've got to let this thing, you know, shut down the telescope connection down here, this POTH hub thing. This is what's called ASCOM. Alright. And now what I'll do is I'll connect again. And it should be really quick. Okay. And then when I disconnect... Actually, this might be enough. Let's find out. And I'll have to put these coordinates in again too, I think. I may have to put those coordinates in.
Telescope connected. Telescope connected.
Oh, I don't. Okay, let's try to sync now. Let's see if it works. Yep. So now it worked. And now you see the coordinates. See, it says 22. Oh, yeah. It's 2 hours off. Why is that?
Back on Eastern time again?
I'm gonna just go check that the telescope has for timing. And see, because I don't want the telescope to be messed up. So let's go down to the next one. And we're looking at this right side of the screen, guys, where you see the handset. We're going to enter in the telescope. And actually, we're not. We're in the wrong thing. I almost went into the wrong thing. And we're going to go down, and we'll see targets. And beyond that, we have date and time. It might have scrambled itself. So let's figure that out. So we go in to see the date, and it should be 8/2. It says 01. Well,
8/1?
Out there it is, yes. It's still the first out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's correct. And now, down in the time. Boy, wouldn't it be great if the time was off? By 2 hours. But if it says 1:01 a.m. Oh, I'm sorry. That's correct. It's 10:01 p.m. out there. Okay. So I'm not sure why it did that. This is off like it should be. let's go back and look at some of the settings in here. We're trying to line up all the things that have anything to do with dates and times to make sure that they're not interfering. And this guy should basically say that and that and that. Okay, it's all correct. So why is the synchronization doing what it used to do, which is wrong? I don't understand that. I don't get it. Why is it 2 hours off? All right, let's go back to the computer and adjust date and time. Isn't this fun, folks? Oh yes, we're having so much fun. Yeah, we're on Arizona time, so that's correct too. So what's causing it to be 2 hours off? I have no idea. Wow.
2 hours off. I thought the time was right.
No, look. It's showing right ascension 22, 23, 21. And I went to go 20.
Okay.
So when
2
I
hours
say
right
sync,
ascension.
it says synchronize to given coordinates, but it hasn't.
What did we do?
Well, we turned off J now, remember? Maybe if I just turned it on and tell it to do that.
Seemed like it started working when we went to Stellarium.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, synchronize to given coordinates. That didn't change anything, but turning this off made it work last time, so I'm not sure. Yeah, well, that didn't work. Okay, well, we could now try going back to Stellarium, but we're not aligned yet.
Yeah.
But we could try and see what Stellarium thinks and where Stellarium thinks we are, and see if it goes to 22 or 20. All right. Troubleshooting long distance. Yay. Alright. Well, it's interesting. Stellarium doesn't think it's connected at all. Unless it's way off. Let me just pop out of here. And yeah, look where it thinks it is. Oh, wait. That might be... is that around 22 hours? Yeah, it's aligned with the telescopes. See, it says up here on the left, says 22 hours, 23 minutes. It thinks it's telescope time. What the telescope's reporting is what Stellarium's reporting. What we want is not being done yet. I don't know why. Wait a second. Let's just check something. Okay, well, we are in the right place. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. When we were in Stellarium earlier, it had Saturn directly above the southern horizon.
It did?
Yeah, what the heck was that? I mean, that was weird. Did we advance time or something?
That looks right.
Yeah, it does.
Antares and Scorpius are west of
Yeah.
the
And we
meridian, and
we still have-
Sagittarius should be moving over it now,
Yeah, it's right here.
I would think.
Yeah, see? Right here. Okay.
Yeah, Saturn should transit the meridian approximately 1 a.m. or midnight there,
Yeah.
since you're not on daylight time.
Yeah, but I don't know why the scope is so off. I just don't get it. Alright, we're just gonna... Oh, I don't want to do that. Sorry. I want to... Why do we think it's over there when we... Let me just look at what our scope's pointing. I'm going to move the scope a little bit. It actually goes a little bit beyond that. I'm just moving slight amounts. Okay. That's too much, as I knew, so I just had to bring it back a little bit now. And what is above our southern? Now, what do we got? We are looking at...
Do you know where the telescope is actually pointing?
Well, no, that's what I gotta do. Is I gotta... I mean, it's close to the southern meridian right now.
Right.
But when you try to sync it, it goes 2 hours away. And I don't know why. We rebooted and everything, so I don't know what's going on with this. Let me just get rid of my silly lines here for a minute.
If we
18 and
trolled up, as you've done before, I guess, and catch an object, and if we can identify it, can we resync on it?
Well, that's the thing. Okay, I'm trying to resync. Look at the RA now. It says 23 hours, 0. That's not true. You know, I'd like to sync on, like say here. All right? And look, it goes back to 22. It's consistently 2 hours off. What is going on that it's doing that? I don't know why it's 2 hours off now. Everything is correct. Why is it 2 hours off? We had it perfect. It was working just fine.
Yeah.
Let me go back to this. Speed is slow. All right. Get out of that. All right, so that's... It looks like it's right on the southern, roughly on the southern meridian, and roughly at, I'd say minus, probably minus 20 degrees or so, maybe. So something like this right here. Let's say about there. Okay. Yes, Ronald. That's a satellite. I don't want that. Let's take a look at this guy. So 18 hours 27 and 18:27:58. All right. And minus 25. So 18. Let's move it down a little bit and I can see that. So let's just do this again. $18, 27, 58, and minus 25. It's kind of interesting because that's what it is. That's what I think it is anyway. Well, let's just leave minus 25 and see what it does. So if I say sync, what's it going to do at the time? 20 hours. 2 hours off. Why? Why 2 hours off? Why 2 hours off? Why the 2 hours off? That is not right. Not even close. I don't know what happened here. Alright, well, let's... I don't know why we're having to go through this again. I mean, it was all working, crying out loud. Once again, 01 August 2021. Oh wait, there's something else that we should be looking at. Oh, that wasn't smart. Let me just hit mode without hitting enter. I didn't go down further because there's other options here. Daylight savings should be no. Okay. Now, time zone should be -7. GPS offset, that's seconds of difference between GPS. Okay. Let's see if the site latitude and longitude has gone off somehow. We already know what that is. Alright, latitude 3348. Okay, but that's not the one we care about. The longitude is the east-west one. And if it was wrong, that would be a reason why. And it's not wrong. It's correct. And the last thing that could be wrong is the time zone. And the time zone is -7. And it's -7. So the telescope is correct. Has the right data. So what's left? What's left is this guy over here having the wrong data. And where it matters, and the time on the computer is right. Why is it 2 hours off? This was doing this last time too, and I don't... We solved it by fixing the time zone on the computer. North 12 -7. Oh, that ain't gonna work. So that's not wrong. That's not wrong at all. And the time here is correct. To take it from the computer. The date's correct. Why is it 2 hours off? I just don't get why it's 2 hours off. Just don't get. I don't give up easily. I just don't. All right. It's just not. It's just wrong. It is not right. Why is it way the hell over there? It's just not right.
I'm trying to remember what we did the other night.
Well, remember the J now thing? I shut that thing off, and it stopped doing a conversion of the coordinates. And I think when I did that, it actually worked. But it's off. It's not on. So I don't get it. I just don't understand. I want it to be there, so I say sync, and it should just go there? Why 2 hours off? What else causes time problems here? And this should be this synchronization works independent of Stellarium. So I'm gonna get rid of Stellarium scope. We don't need it because it's dutifully reporting what APT sees from the mount. So actually, if APT is seeing this from the mount, then it's the mount that's causing this problem in some way. It's got to be the mount.
I thought the mount showed the correct date, time, and...
It does. It does. I'm just going to get rid of Stellarium right now. I disconnected the Stellarium scope part. Guys, I'll make sure you get the nice Robo Fuchsia imagery as well as the Antares clouds. Oh man, why could this not be working? Why could this just not be working? Let me try to sync now. Amos, that's funny. No. That's actually red. The camera's not showing it well. You could say that I get feeling a little blue over this. Or I'm more orange now. There we go. That better? The telescope is reporting this is where it's located. Amos, no harm. It's alright. Why won't the telescope? What's the telescope got going on in there? I don't know the answer to this question. Don't get it. That's interesting. There's got to be something in here that's I'm missing. Got to be something in here that I'm missing. I got the date and the time zone is correct, latitude and longitude is correct. What else is there? Well, there's one other, I guess, possibility, I guess.
What's that?
Maybe the site location is not defined properly. I'll show you what I mean.
I thought we checked that.
Yeah, no, we checked a latitude and longitude, but the telescope may think it's at a different site, and there is a specific site. I'll show you. See, site. But see, I entered this. And I select this one. And I don't think that's gonna make a difference, but let's see what it thinks. I'm guessing it's gonna be the same.
I remember the other night you were checking this somewhere and it was longitude, but it showed east instead of west.
Yeah, that was an APT, but it's not now. I'll show you. Okay, still -7. Okay, well, this is right. Why would the telescope be reporting the wrong coordinates like this? I don't understand that. Well, there's one other thing we can try. We go in here, go into telescope. I think it's in telescope. Or is it in telescope? We'll find out. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, so we have to go into telescope and then let's go in from the other side here. We might get to it faster. High precision still on? Yep. Okay. Moving up. Okay, and now we're coming to GPS alignment, and it should just say on. But when I put it on at actually I didn't put it on off. When I put it on at startup, that actually caused the telescope to go really haywire and bang things, which is crazy. It shouldn't do any of that. But of course, that happened while the roof was not open fully, so that could have been a problem. I'm going to try turning off GPS alignment And now that means that we have to put in all the data, which we have. All the GPS does is give the time and the location. And so what we can do now is turn off the scope again. Let me just move it down a little bit. Okay. And now when I disconnect the scope and turn it off, it'll should just gracefully shut down, and it did. So I can get out of there. Alright. Now I'm going to shut off the power to the scope. Again. If the GPS was screwed up, turning it off and restarting the telescope will potentially fix this 2-hour problem. I don't know if it will or not, but we'll find out, won't we?
We shall see.
Yeah. So turning off the telescope right there. This reminds me of the time I was flying to Phoenix one time. We got all the way out, almost to the runway, and there's a little apron to the side of the main runway where planes can pull over if there's a problem. Well, we pulled over and there was a problem. The plane's avionics weren't coming up. Why they waited to get all the way out almost onto the runway to take off to figure that out is beyond me. But what they did was they ended up pulling off in an apron, and the pilot came on and said, actually he came out of the cockpit and said, folks, we have a problem with the avionics in the cockpit, so what we have to do is shut down the aircraft completely for 15 minutes and restart. And it was warm, very hot out, and so he shut the plane off, and almost immediately you started to bake in your seat. Now, I was actually in like the third row from the front, just by chance this time. And this plane didn't have a first class section, basically. So I ended up sitting there, and I filmed it. It was really eerie to see total silence on the plane. Really eerie. Okay. I can connect the scope again now.
If first you don't succeed, reboot.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And I shut down gracefully, so it shouldn't be making me do what's happening now, but cannot connect them out, but it will. Here we go. So it will connect now.
I saw that happen so much. My job, I worked in the printing industry, my last job, many years, and I saw the printing industry change from completely analog to totally digitally controlled.
Okay.
Printing presses, the big guillotine cutters, all sorts of equipment.
Wow.
And you know, we're talking multi-million-dollar printing presses, and so many times, you know, what do we wind up doing is shutting down the main power and counting to 30 or counting to 60 and turning everything back on again.
That's crazy.
The technology was great as long as it was working, but when it would go bad, it would go really bad sometimes.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, if you had a problem, we would call a mechanic, a factory mechanic, you know?
Yeah.
And he would tell us if we needed an electrician. And once everything went digital, well, we called an electrician, and he would tell us if we needed a mechanic.
That's weird. It's circular logic. No, you need him. No, you need him. No, you need him. Okay. now we're going to reconnect, and it came up normally this time as it should, but I'm going to have to put in coordinates again. I'm just going to put in coordinates that are close. Look at the right ascension and declination. It thinks it's at 5 hours. That's like pointing the opposite sky, like in Orion. If we're told to go there right now, it would just like, it would complain that it can't get there. This is kind of only sort of close. I just want to see if I can sync anything. Alright, that should be good enough. Alright, let's see what we get. Huh, still can't sync. And I had closed it down. What if I disconnect and reconnect and try it again? That's weird because every time I couldn't sync, what I'm trying to do, folks, when I hit sync is to take the coordinates that are here and make them go into the telescope. And when I couldn't do it before, I would actually be able to do it when I restarted this system here. If I can't do it again, there's one other thing I can try. Okay, so I will get out of this mode that's over there.
Question?
Yes.
I seem to remember the other night you had Sharpcap up too, and it had a telescope control on it. Was there any chance the two might be conflicting with each other?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, the telescope's moving like it should here because it's just initializing the drive. Interesting. Now it's asking about daylight savings time. No. Oh, I know why. Because of the fact that we turned off GPS.
Turned off what?
GPS.
Oh.
Enter time. I can't.
11:40 and 20 some odd seconds.
Well, for you.
10:40 some odd seconds.
Yeah. I can't tell what it's saying there. I can't tell what it's doing. I can barely read that screen right now. But, okay, let's just say enter. See what that does. Date 02 August. That's not right. Well, actually, it is now, huh? No.
Not there, no.
It's still 01. See, by turning off the GPS, I put in all this information directly.
Excuse me.
Okay. Now, what happens if I hit sync? Actually, not here. If it works, I really have to do it from back where I was before. Approximately where I was before.
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, hand grenades are looking better and better. Okay, that's approximate. But what's the actual out there? Let's find out. Alright, so the actual then for us here, that's about 19 hours now. So I just want to get it approximate. Alright. Let's see if by putting in the data manually that makes a difference.
I noticed earlier,
Oh, come on.
might have been when you reset power to the telescope,
Yes.
turned it back on again, that the little dialog box for auto start came up
Yes, that happens whenever you try to.
saying that you needed to update it.
Yeah, that's,
whatever.
That's not true with the AutoStar. That's a nag that comes up that isn't true. Because the
Did
auto.
you-
Go ahead.
Did you look at the version it displayed?
Yeah. I have 1.1 on the controller here, which is what it's supposed to be for the LX600, which is this.
Okay, all right.
And 4.1G is what the telescope behind me has, which is earlier version of this telescope. The latest telescope version has a lesser number for the version number for the software. It just goes in the wrong direction. It makes no sense. Okay, it still says we can't sync because an exception occurred. What exception? Why is that occurring? I have no idea what's going on though. It's more problems. Usually when I quit this and restart it, it immediately allows me to resync. I don't get it. Ay, ay, ay. You know, I am just sorry, guys, that this is being such a jerk to all of us. And it's such a beautifully clear night out there. Oh. What a waste of a beautiful night. Well, there'll be more. There'll be more. Alright, well, let's see. Why would I get this now? I don't know why I would get an exception here. I just don't know. Alright. I'm unable to figure this out. There might be a reason for this. Let me go look in the task mangler for that computer out there and look for anything that has to do with the pieces that I need here. Go to the A's. No, it doesn't have anything in there. Go to details. Making sure that there's no lingering stuff in memory that might be causing this. I don't know how this could go from working so beautifully to just not working at all. I don't understand. I actually don't know.
What? Can you click performance?
Yeah, hang on. I'm just trying to see if there's anything in here that I recognize as being... Yeah, well, okay, well, performance. It's a 6-core processor. I mean, it's a fast machine.
Yeah, it's not tied up.
No, not at all. Alright, I'm getting out of this. Let's try... Actually, let me try something that worked last time. If I hold down Shift key when I hit connect, I get the dialog box up again. And now let me try Device Hub, and this should fail and give me a very large, nasty looking error message. Okay, it didn't give me the message, but that's probably because I rebooted. But now let's try to connect this other thing and see if it messed it up. Okay, I use this thing called Path. Okay. Okay, it's connected. Alright, now let's just pretend we're at 18 hours. We're not, it's more like 19 hours actually. So, just in the off chance that it works, let's just get it right.
It says 1900 hours already.
Oh. It does.
Declination minus 45.48, which see you're...
That could be where the thing's pointing.
Huh?
That could be where it's pointing. I don't know what just happened here, but the RA and the declination look almost correct. You know?
Uh-huh.
Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Because those look relatively almost correct, I'm going to go out of this. I'm looking at the handset now. Alright, and I'm gonna go, I'm in setup. I'm gonna go down to telescope, go into telescope, go down, past all these things, past mount upper and lower limit, and this next one, which is probably gonna go right past it because I went one too fast because I can't rely on this internet, is park position. And I'm gonna have this right here be the park position. Say enter, use current, which is this one right here, and the telescope will beep but you won't hear it, and it'll say set. Okay, now the park position is set, and the synchronization kind of looks right. Look at the azimuth, 180 degrees, that's pointing due south. And right now there's not a whole lot due south. A lot of it's past the meridian, but the brightest star at around minus 26, it's actually Nuki. So let's just try beyond all hope to, I didn't want to do that. I want to enter NGC number. No.
So you have Stellarium open off screen?
I do on the other screen, yes.
Oh, okay. I just wonder where you got none yet.
Well, you don't think I know it?
Oh, probably.
I've seen it enough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, it looks kind of semi-aligned here, and I don't like that kind of usage here. The telescope should know and stay where it should stay with this coordinates. It should know these coordinates and not be screwed up. So now, if I start Stellarium scope now, it should connect to the mount right away. Okay, and if I start Stellarium here, out here in Arizona, we should see the indicator for it on the screen, pointing kind of, there it is, pointing sort of straight out. That's kind of what it is, you know?
Yep.
Ay, ay, ay.
And folks, if you can see Sagittarius there, Nunkey is the brightest star in the handle of the teapot, sort of at the upper left, right there.
Also known as Sidira. Alright, well.
So, do you look like you're back in business?
I don't know. I don't know why it did what it did. And that's a big problem. I'm going to have to really troubleshoot it when I go out there. So what I want to do now is bring up Sharpcap again. I just don't know when to quit. That's my problem. Okay. And connect the camera. Start the cooler again. I'm sure the camera warmed up enough by now. It's at 34.2 and that's what, 90. So here we go, we're on our way. Now it's down to 32.7. Okay, well, we're gonna find out. Hey there, Isabella, how are you? All right. Let's go back here. This is M22. And you know what? We're gonna see how close we are. We'll just tell it to go there and see if it's in the field. And if it is, we'll try to sync to it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But let's just set this time here. This will be 1 second again, so that we get screen updates fairly fluidly. Okay. Alright. You're not moving away, are you? No. Okay. Alright, well, I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try and run up to... we're going to try and run up to Measure 22. I don't know if this will work, but we'll give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? Don't answer that. Alright. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is not where it should be going. Oh, great. Stop. 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 Stop.
Wow.
Stop. Oh, great. Well, it's going to run into the hard edge stop there. And yeah, good. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to see. So we're going to head back to the west with this. Wow. I mean, we had the coordinates right, too. How about that?
Yeah.
So what the hell was it doing? Alright. Well, I'm going to... Alright. I am going to disconnect. I mean, the coordinates looked correct.
Telescope disconnected.
Wow.
Scope didn't hit anything, did it?
No, it ran into the hard stops. That is to say, it has its own hard stop. Alright, so that's done. Well, folks, as you can guess, that means that we're going to have to call it for tonight. I was hoping we could salvage this, but something went haywire that's out of my control. And I don't know what it is. It went from being so perfect. Like last night, I went up to the northern sky. I was doing all kinds of things. It was just perfect. And tonight...
Started off tonight perfect.
It was perfect tonight, yeah. I was all set to just really go for it. Yeah.
And what did we try to point at when it acted up?
We tried to point at like the cat's paw or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, that was right up in the same neighborhood. I wouldn't think, you know.
That's correct.
Oh, well.
Alright. Look at the telescope hand controller. It's stuck saying it's slewing. That's not true.
Oh.
Well, now it's not doing anything. They shut it off. Hey folks, thanks for coming out. I know it wasn't a great show, but thank you for saying that. Oja Aja, I appreciate that. Aja, I appreciate that. But it wasn't really working properly. I mean, it worked great, and then went haywire. I don't know why. I may have to do something drastic out there. Okay. Well, at least you get to watch the roof close now. And it will certainly close now. Because there's no telescope in the way, that's for sure. Yes, Carol, we got to hang out for a bit. I did get some good images that I can definitely get off to you guys so you can see them. But I am just not happy with how that was acting. Absolutely unhappy with how it's acting.
Get some rest. Sleep on it.
If I was there, I would sleep on it. Wake up at 4 in the morning with some more ideas. Oh well. Very disappointing. It went from being perfect to doing this. That just kills me. But in the meantime, I guess there's one thing. Let's see. Let me try to paint this. Okay, so if we go back here. I'd like to show you what you missed. Well, first of all, this is the telescope, that you're looking at. This is what's going on there. All right, this is the telescope with a camera sitting on the end here. And that's out in the building, so something isn't right with it. Whoops, that's not what I meant. And, but let's see. Okay. I'll show you. Okay, these are the images that Daryl and I took yesterday. Okay, this is the Trifid Nebula. Beautiful, and everything was dead center. I mean, it was just perfect. Okay, you can see that beautiful red and blue. Okay, you got the red hydrogen, ionized hydrogen, and then you've got this blue reflection nebula. Not hot enough to ionize any hydrogen that may be there, this star, but it's really beautiful. It's got these beautiful dark lanes, which are actually dark dust in front of that nebula. They're hiding what's behind it, right? Then let's see here. We also have the other one we took. This is a beautiful one. This is the Lagoon Nebula, and many of you know the Lagoon Nebula. It's measure 8. Okay, well, this is how it looked yesterday. These are 25-second shots, by the way. Okay, and just east of the Lagoon Nebula, you've got this other complex that is just never talked about, but there it is. And it's almost like these are connected. It's one logical band of diffuse hydrogen that's ionized by all the hot stars. It's just stunning. And so we were going to look at this too tonight. Beautiful dark lanes in here that you can see. Really, really detailed stuff out here. And so much more dust and ionized hydrogen gas out here. Just incredible. And then we had the other one we did was right in Cygnus. Again, probably would have shown it to you tonight. Is a this one is the Gamma Cygni Nebula. Beautiful dark lanes here that are just stunning, you know, and there's so much of it. And then this is Gamma Cygni Satyr, which is the name of the star, SADR. Again, these are halos around the star from the system. Beautiful dark nebulae here. These are again in front of the bright nebula behind, and they're blocking it. That's why you see that same thing with all these little areas here. You can see it more pronounced here. This looks like it's obviously that this is in front. This black is in front of the white, the bright behind. But that's typical of how this works. And then let's go out here again. I just want to show you the one that the ones that we thought were beautiful, and you saw a little bit of it when we were looking at this. This is the Robo Fuchsia star cloud that we talked about. And you saw a little bit of that. You saw this looking like this when we looked at it. Look at how beautiful that is. It almost looks like a creature, you know, with I don't know what to say. But it's beautiful. All this dust in here. Again, not hot enough to be ionized hydrogen in here. Maybe there's hydrogen in here, but it's not being ionized. And it's a lot of dark dust. Okay. And the image we took tonight, okay, on this side over here, you can see right above me, right there, is the beginnings of that beautiful dark piece that we caught tonight, which I'll bring out and show you next time, or I'll put it up on the SkyTour LiveStream Facebook site. It's kind of there's one here too, which you can see, you know. So it's
really... show them the star cloud?
Yeah, I know. I'm getting to it. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going through them all. Okay. Oops. Uh-huh. Okay, so and and then I'll end with the North American Nebula. Here's the Sagittarius star cloud. It's called the small Sagittarius star cloud, and you can see how many stars are here. It's just tons of stars. There's this very black area over here again that's in front of the bright nebula behind. The bright stars behind. They're blocking the stars. Same thing with this dust over here. It's all stuff that's hiding out in front. Now it's all throughout and mixed throughout, but there is a copious amount of dust that's in front of it too that are blocking the stars behind it. But again, it is mixed throughout the stars and everything. So
I've got to look up that dark object.
Okay.
That has to be a Barnard object.
Well, go to the Barnard site, remember?
Yeah, I was meaning to ask you about that. You sent me that link. I need to find it.
Okay. All right. Well, and now the last I'm going to show you is really truly stunning. I did save it for last. But right up in Cygnus is the North American Nebula, and the North American Nebula. I saw it and Daryl was with me. No, wait, you weren't. You had already
Nope.
gone. You had already left when I did the North
Yeah.
America. So I saw this alone, and it was just like stunning. But this is the North America Nebula, as imaged by the telescope last night for 25 seconds. Look at this. Isn't this stunning? That's a beautiful dialogue box. No, but
Folks, yeah.
yeah.
Do you see the penguin? Do you see the pelican on the right?
Yeah, here's the pelican right here. There's the big beak, the mouth, and the eye of the pelican maybe here. And
I think that is too cool.
yeah, that's the Pelican Nebula. And this is the North American Nebula. This is the Gulf of Mexico, so to speak, Florida. And Mexico was made up of a very interesting feature called the Cygnus Wall. This is a wall of material that is a star-forming area. Lots of dust in here, ionized hydrogen, all the reddish pink, orange, ionized hydrogen. And here, more than in some of the other shots, you can see this dark nebula sitting in front of the bright nebula behind. And that's what we're seeing here too.
I think that's great.
Now, when we talk about nebula, we talk about, there's diffuse nebulae, and, and then there's other, star-forming regions. But diffuse nebulae are areas like over here, behind me, okay, and in the Pelican actually, like we're all in here, okay. And this whole region, this is diffuse nebula in here, meaning it's not really concentrated, it's sort of diffused and dispersed, and that's what a diffuse nebula is. And a lot of the stars in the area are hot enough to ionize hydrogen in the area, and that, hydrogen has one electron in it, okay. Has one electron circling a proton, if you want to think of it as circling. It's really a cloud. It's everywhere at once, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, but don't worry about that. Think of it as an electron particle circulating around a proton. But when energy in the form of bright starlight strikes the atom absorbs the energy, and that means that the electron absorbs the energy, and it bounces up higher. It goes into a higher orbit, and if it goes high enough, it could leave the atom. And that's often what happens when the energy from these stars that have a lot of ultraviolet energy hit these atoms. And so now that hydrogen atom becomes electronless. Okay, the electron is blown off the atom, and you now just have a hydrogen proton sitting there, okay? And the electron is now freely moving around in the space around the atom, and maybe it's colliding with other electrons, maybe it's gonna actually go and join with a different atom. But the electron eventually loses enough energy through collisions out there to fall back into the atom. And they typically fall kind of randomly, and within an atom there's discrete locations that they fall to. These are called energy levels, okay? And in the particular case of a vacuum of space, and in terms of what places the electrons fall to in the hydrogen atom, the most common thing that happens out in space is that the electrons fall down to what's called the N, as in November, N equals 2, TWO, 2, level in the atom. Well, when an atom is ionized like that, where the electron leaves the atom, that's ionization, okay, the electron's absorbing energy, okay. Well, as it drops back into the atom, it's losing energy, and when it loses energy, it gives off a glow, it gives off light, a little tiny bit of light, teeny tiny, and that tiny bit of light is, in the case of going to the N equals 2 level in an atom, that little tiny bit of light is red, like we see all around us here, okay, like you see on my face. Okay, so that is how electrons cause clouds of hydrogen to glow like this. They give off a little bit of light as they rejoin the atom. That rejoining of the atom is called recombination. So you have the electron circulating the proton, the energy hits the atom, and the electron absorbs it and goes flying off for a little bit, spirals around, comes back in, and goes to a bunch of different levels. It cascades down through different levels, but most of the electrons land at the n equals 2 level in this case of space here, in this rarefied gas with very few electrons per cubic, very few atoms per cubic centimeter. And in that case, the n equals 2 level, when the electron hits there, it's giving off this particular characteristic reddish orange light. And that's what we call hydrogen alpha, or H2 for singly ionized hydrogen. So it's pretty cool to see something like this and see how, you know, when we're looking at this, we're looking at the soft glow of many, many hundreds of trillions of electrons that are bouncing off the hydrogen atoms and coming back and recombining with them every single second, every single nanosecond. So, and it's happening for billions of years, you know, millions and billions of years sometimes. So it's really a cool process. Now over time, these nebulae are going to fade away because the stars that are causing them to glow are going to die off and or be moving out of the nebula as they are gravitationally interacting with every other star and with their orbit around the galaxy as a whole. So when they get too far away, then they can't illuminate clouds of hydrogen gas anymore, and then send energy into those clouds in order to cause this ionization and then recombination and subsequent red light coming out. So it's a pretty cool process, but it's not permanent. So we're seeing a little snapshot in time, but as far as humans are concerned, the Pelican Nebula has been there ever since the dawn of humankind on this planet. It's just that the time scales of the universe are really quite large. Okay, so this is a stunning object. It almost looks like it's a photograph of wood. Okay, but it's not. It's actually a photograph of many light years in length of dark nebula, and even more light years in length of these diffuse hydrogen nebula. You can almost see up here, it looks almost three-dimensional, doesn't it? You know, and that could be that we're looking at it in 3 dimensions, but not realizing it because we're just looking at it in a flat projected view in the sky. So it's pretty cool, and I think that, you know, when we look at something like this, it's actually pretty stunning to see all the intricate detail. Now we took images of the North American Nebula here at SkyTour East. It didn't look like this. This is really far and away. Sorry. I had to do that. I don't know why. I'm sorry. It's far and away the best view of the North American Nebula I've ever seen. Ever. You know? Now, for the record, I will fix the scope. I will figure out what's wrong with it, and we will be back in business. Maybe as soon as tomorrow night. I have to figure out why it's doing what it did. I'm not sure what's going on there. One thing I might try is it's like the nuclear option. I could reset it and it will just wipe out everything, and I'll have to put it all in again, the location and everything and all the detail. But that might be the only way to go. Reset the telescope entirely. It wipes out all the stuff I did to train the drives. It wipes out all that stuff. But maybe that's what I gotta do. I don't know. But it certainly, as you can see, it delivers beautiful imagery. So I'm pretty certain that it's worth fixing this. Look at this beautiful nebula. Here's the wall I was talking about right down there. You see it? Right down there. Here's the wall. Wow, that's a really cool thing right there. Now this is neat, you know. And then as we move around, you can see again, look at the resolution we get here. This is gorgeous. Look at that. You see all this very interesting complexity. And what's funny is we can zoom in and zoom in and zoom in all we want, right? And we get down to like a level, say like this, say right here, and we're still looking at several light years across in here. Okay, the smallest dot you can see in here is going to be more than a light year across. It's going to be much more than that, actually. So it's kind of cool when we see it as a whole. We can't imagine actually the entire extent of the nebula. Okay, like the distance from here, from here down to this lower corner down here. It's a huge amount of light years. But that's a sort of par for the course for the universe, The galaxy is over 100,000 light years across. That means it takes light 100,000 years to cross it. 100,000 years to cross it. I don't know about you, but I can't wait 30 seconds at a traffic light. Wait 100,000 years for the light to reach you? Jeez. Which goes back to what I've said many times. When you look at the night sky, you're going back in time. You're seeing it as it was at the time when the light you're looking at right now, that very light from that star, left it at however many light years distant away it is. That's how many years ago it left, because we talk about light years, that light travels a certain distance in a year, and when we talk about that, that's 6 trillion miles. And when you talk about that, like the North American Nebula, we're seeing it in 3 dimensions. And so we're seeing this this very screen in front of us, this very object, as it was many years ago. I think we're talking 1,600 years for the North American Nebula. I think that it averages about 1,600 light years. If I don't miss my recollection here, Daryl, if you have any memory of that?
No, I don't offhand.
No, yeah.
I know it. North America is physically associated with the star Deneb, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And I want to say Deneb's like 1,000 light years away.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I didn't put Deneb in here on purpose because Deneb is bright and it would actually show very brightly, kind of like Antares did.
Sure.
And but when you look at this view, when you look at this object in the screen, you would be remiss if you didn't look at this and say, okay, the universe is different distances from us. The objects are very different in distance, so it takes their light proportionally longer or shorter time to get to us. The nearest star to us, of course, besides the sun, is Alpha Centauri's system. That's a triple star system, and their light, okay, although the closest star to us takes 4.3 years to get here, traveling at 186,282 miles per second. That's 7 times around the Earth in a second, folks. That's pretty fast, And at that speed, it still takes over 4 years for the light to get here from the nearest of the stars. And I'm not talking about the distance from, say, this star to this star. It's going to be pretty distant. The distance from this star to this star could be like, 8 light years, 9 light years or more, maybe 10. We don't know, maybe 14 or whatever. But the bottom line is, it depends on how far they are, from us and from each other. Or it could be even greater. So, whenever you look out at the night sky, it's a time machine, You don't see the universe as it is now. You only see whatever you're looking at as it was then. Okay? You don't see it as it is now. You see it as it was then. And that's how you think about the universe. So, Betelgeuse, the brightest star in Orion in the upper left, that nice orange one up there, that star is going to go supernova someday. Maybe it already has. And it's about 750 light years away, meaning that its light that we see left it 750 years ago. The light we see right this second from Betelgeuse left 750 years ago. Now think about what was going on the Earth 750 years ago, and you'd figure, wow, just the size of the universe, the time it takes the light to reach us dwarfs the history of the Earth. Yes, it does. And in fact, the light from the most distant galaxies that we see now left those galaxies before Earth was formed. Now that's pretty interesting, isn't it? So when you see a galaxy, and we found an exoplanet that's 12 billion years old, okay, and there's galaxies that are 10, 12 billion light years away. The Earth is only 4.6 billion years old. When the light left those galaxies, Earth wasn't even formed yet. Think about that and let that sink in. Isn't that incredible? You know, that's the thing that makes the universe so special. That's why I'm an astronomer. That's why I couldn't wait to get a degree in that. I couldn't wait to work in an observatory. I couldn't wait to put a telescope in Arizona and have it go haywire. I couldn't wait to get all of that done. It will fix it. It'll be fixed. I don't know what's wrong with it, but so, like I said, you know, all the things that the universe offers us, you know, this image here on the screen is something that, as astronomers, we've all grown up knowing about. The North American Nebula, Florida, the Gulf of Mexico. There's where I live, Connecticut's up here somewhere. At least it looks like that. And the Pelican Nebula. These are all things that we have come to learn and enjoy, and right? But again, because it's a snapshot in time, it's not just distance that changes how things look or makes it so we're not seeing the universe as it is, but as it was. But there's also motion going on too, and it means that as the galaxy and the stars are rotating around the galaxy, and as these clouds, which are in motion, by the way, are rotating around the galaxy, the Pelican Nebula, as seen from the Earth, looks this way. But go there and go around it, and it doesn't resemble a pelican in any way. And in a few million years, maybe several hundred million years, the Pelican Nebula will look differently. I know it will. It actually will look different, because the stars that are illuminating and causing the hydrogen gas to glow will have moved away. Some will have moved in and illuminate other areas and cause the glow elsewhere in the Pelican Nebula. Maybe some of these dark nebulae are areas where stars are forming, all right, and maybe perhaps very massive stars. And we know that this happens. We've seen them in the Orion Nebula that do this. And those are called T Tauri stars that are out there. Young stars that haven't quite started their life as full-blown stars, so to speak. Not on the main sequence, as we say. And those stars will eventually glow and burn, fusing hydrogen into helium initially. And if they're massive enough, then they will begin burning helium into carbon, carbon into nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, all the way up in the periodic table to possibly iron at 26 in the periodic table. And iron is the last stop. Beyond that, no more. And the star will not be able to manage it. And once this finishes burning all that other stuff up to iron, and there's an iron core now just inert, because you can't fuse iron into anything else without putting more energy in than you get out. In fusion, you always put in some energy and get out more. That's how it works, right? But iron tips the scale in the other direction. And so when iron is trying to fuse, it requires a lot of energy. So what happens is you got an iron core, and you have all these other shells of other elements that are fusing to form yet other elements. Okay? And at some point in the future, all that fuel is going to stop. They're not going to have shells that can work anymore. There's not going to be enough material. So what happens is that happens, and the star begins to pulsate and collapse. As it starts to collapse, it gets hotter at certain areas, and other shells begin, and hey, it starts anew. And this happens a while. It does this pulsation for quite a while. But then the last of the major fuels run out. And what happens? Well, then the star does this. Boom! It literally collapses. You might not believe this, but the actual time that it takes a massive star to have a core that'll collapse like that is literally 1/4 of a second. That's fast. In a 1/4 second, the star collapse gets to the point where it's catastrophic, and the star is what we call disrupted. In common language, it's a cataclysmic explosion. It's the universal fireworks beyond no comparison. So it's a beautiful sight to see if you're in another star system far enough away. Like if we're here and Betelgeuse goes up, yeah, well, put popcorn out there in a chair and sit down and watch. Say, look at that. But it's a slow process. Betelgeuse will brighten very quickly. And that's what we'll see. We'll see a bright star not only at night, but in our daytime sky too. If Orion actually happens while Orion's in our daytime sky, then we'll see a daytime star. Because it'll show through that blue sky of ours. And you'll see it. Okay? Just like the Chinese saw in 1054 AD, they saw a new star in the sky that was visible during the day. And it was in Taurus, the bull. And that's where we found the Crab Nebula later. A supernova explosion had occurred. And Betelgeuse, being 750 light years away, will in fact do that to us, you know. So I think we lost Daryl. Oh, he wrote, I gotta go. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was getting tired, sorry. Well, anyway, that said, I do want to say thank you for joining us. Hopefully you got something out of this. I know I did. I got a really busy day coming tomorrow now because of this. But anyway, we will continue, and we'll make sure that this happens again. All right. I just want to make sure that we end up getting this telescope where it belongs, up and running. So, that said, I hope you guys have a really good night, and thank you so much. It was great to see all of you out there. I really appreciate everything. I don't think I said hello to Leslie Latin Trailer. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Carol, of course. Rascally Rabbit, I see you are there now. That's nice. You were there before. Hey, PG, how are you? PG, I'll see you in Pine Bush, I hope. And then, let's see. Tim F. All right, there you are. Anyway, I will see you guys. Thanks for coming along. And I will check in with you periodically here over the next day or so to let you know how things are going. All right? So you guys have fun. Spend a good time tonight. Get some sleep. I know I need it. I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning doing these shots. I couldn't go to bed. It was just too good. So I will see you guys later, all right?